Hi, I'm Eileen, and today we're going to be going over YLOG 5th grade Lesson 11 worksheet. So, the first problem, it tells us, compare and write greater than, less than, or equal to for each. Use a number line if needed. So, the example, it gives us negative 4.13 and negative 1. So, for negative numbers, the smaller amount number, negative 1, is going to be smaller. So usually for positive, if these are both positive, we'll think 4 is greater than 1, right? But for negative numbers, 1 is going to be greater than negative 4. So if we put this on a number line, so this is going to be negative 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it says negative 4.13, but I'm just going to reduce it to 4, negative 4. So if we see on a number line, the negative, they go backwards. So the backwards they go, the smaller they are of the value. So, which means negative 1 is greater than 4 as the value goes down. While a positive, it'll be going up, right? Like 1, 2, 3. The value gets bigger, while here the value gets smaller. So that's why 3 is greater than 1. So that's why the answer here, they put negative 4.13 is less than negative 1. I'm going to be going over number 1, 4, 5, 10, 12, and 13. Number 1, like I told you, we obviously know 2 is greater than 1. So that's our answer. Simple and easy. Number 4, there's 0 and negative 0.1. So let's put this on a number line. Let's say this is 0, and then let's just say this is negative 0.1. Since it's a negative, it's going to be behind the 0, right? And then here, then it'll be positive 0.1. It's moving down, which means the value is getting shorter. So that means 0 is greater than negative 0.1 because it's behind the 0 on the number line. Number 5, negative 1.5 and 1.5. So we know a positive is always greater than a negative. If you didn't, now you know. A positive number is always greater than a negative number. So this one, negative 1.5, is less than 1.5. Number 10, 0.01 and negative 1. No matter how small the positive number is going to be, a positive is always bigger than a negative number. So for 10, 0.01 is greater than negative 1. Number 12, we have negative 101, 102 and negative 102. So they're the same number, so this is just equal sign, they're equal to. 13, negative 2.5 and negative 1.5. If we put this on the number line, there's negative 1.5, negative 2.5, and then so on. So I told you the value, it gets smaller. And negative 1.5 is in front of negative 2.5, so that means negative 1.5 is greater than. So negative 2.5 is less than negative 1.5. We're going to move on to the challenge questions. Compare and write less than, greater than, or less than, or equal to for each. I'm going to be going over number 3 and 4. So number 3, we're going to have to solve this one in order to know what number we have on the left. While on the right, we have negative 1.0. So let's first multiply these. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1, since a negative times a negative is always a positive. So that means it's a 1 times 1.0, which equals to 1.0, a positive. And we see here that we have a negative 1.0. While this side we have a positive 1.0. And like I said earlier, a positive number is always greater than a negative number. So that means 1.0 is greater than negative 1.0. We also have to solve this one in order to know what numbers are on each side. Let's start with the left. So left, we have 1 minus 12, which is negative 11. And then 0 minus 7 plus 1 is 8, which is negative 8. So that's our numbers. So we have a negative 11 and a negative 8. So that means a negative 8 is greater than negative 11. So negative 11 is less than negative 8. And if I'll show you guys on the number line, negative 8, 9, 10, 11. It's going down. And negative 8 is far up there. And it's right in front of negative 11. Lastly, we have a word problem. I'm going to be going over number 1A. So number 1, it says, on a field trip at Big Bear, Sophia recorded the weather in Celsius for one day. She found that it was negative 6 degrees Celsius in the morning, 11 degrees Celsius in the afternoon, and negative 2 degrees Celsius in the evening. In A, it tells us, list the temperatures from least to greatest. And the 3 temperatures we know of that Sophia recorded is negative 6, 11, and negative 2. So we have to put that in the order of least to greatest. So we know that there's 2 negative numbers, right? However, there's one positive number, which is positive is greater than negative. So our greatest number is going to be 11. So I already got that. We just have to find the other 2 numbers of negative 2 and negative 6 where they belong. So let's put that on a number line then to help us. This is negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. And our numbers are negative 2, negative 6. And the values, they go down, right? And we see that negative 2 is in front of negative 6, so that means negative 2 is greater than negative 6. That means our least number here is negative 6. So we put negative 6 as our least. After that, it's going to be negative 2. And our greatest is 11, which we found earlier. And that's our answer.